इतने औरंगजेब के औलादे कहाँ से पैदा हुई, इसके पीछे कौन है, इसका असली मालिक कौन है, ये भी हम ढूंढ के निकालेंगे।
Is India obsessed with Aurangzeb? Why does Aurangzeb's ghost still haunt? Top focus on India first.
Kolhapur is in Maharashtra and it's the very latest flashpoint when it comes to Mughals, this time in Aurangzeb. I'm going to do a deep dive today, viewer, here on India Today, not just to tell you what happened in Kolhapur, but also to go even deeper into this entire mechanism of people being triggered by the ghost of Aurangzeb. Thanks for tuning in. You're not going to miss this show because I'm going to answer some of those questions you've got for me. Aurangzeb posters, Aurangzeb WhatsApp display pictures, social media posts are the new fuel of a fire that has been lit in Maharashtra's Kolhapur. Well, obviously there's politics involved, but the real headline here, viewer, is that the violence you see, the lathi charges that have happened, the stone throwing that has reportedly taken place in some places, the vandalism of public property and vehicles, and the anger on the streets of parts of the otherwise beautiful city of Kolhapur in Maharashtra is only the latest example of how a dead Mughal emperor has been brought back into modern India to remind us that they may be dead, but they certainly have not been forgotten. Take a look at these two things on my screen, viewer. A poster of Aurangzeb and a WhatsApp video, a WhatsApp display picture shared widely that's gone viral, saying that the true Baap is Aurangzeb. Designed to trigger, designed to irritate, designed to irk, and designed to provoke. The question really is, why is it that Aurangzeb, who's been dead for over 3 centuries now, still has the capacity and the capability to trigger something like this in modern India? Take a look at what happened in Kolhapur.
Maharashtra's Kolhapur on the boil. Hindu groups go on the rampage, vandalize shops and damaging vehicles. The violent protests were brought under control after the police lathi charged the ground.
पुलिस ने जो जमाव था उस पर अश्रुधुओं के नलखंडे डाले थे, अश्रुधुओं के बौछारे भी डाले थे, साथ ही लाठीचार्ज भारी मात्रा में यहाँ पर होते हुए नजर आया था.
The Hindu outfits were protesting a WhatsApp status put by 3 Muslim teenagers on Tuesday in praise of the 17th century Mughal ruler Aurangzeb, who had fought many battles with Maratha icon Chhatrapati Shivaji. The WhatsApp status hailed Aurangzeb as the true king. Earlier, posters of Aurangzeb were raised during a procession on Sunday in Ahmednagar. The police booked 4 people, including the city unit chief of Asaduddin Owaisi's party, AIMIM, who organized the rally for allegedly inciting violence. The Maharashtra government has made it clear no forgiveness would be granted to anyone invoking the name of Aurangzeb.
मैं खुद पर्सनली अधिकारियों के साथ संपर्क में हूँ और कानून व्यवस्था बनाए रखने के लिए सभी लोगों ने सहयोग करने की आवश्यकता है, ऐसा आह्वान भी मैं करता हूँ. और राज्य में सभी लोग शांति से रहे, या राज्य में शांति रहे, अमन रहे, इसके लिए सभी लोगों ने सहयोग करने की आवश्यकता है.
महाराष्ट्र में अचानक कुछ जिलों में औरंगजेब की औलादे पैदा हुई है, जो औरंगजेब का फोटो दिखाते हैं, औरंगजेब का स्टेटस रखते हैं, और इसके कारण एक दुर्भावना समाज में पैदा हो रही है. कौन जानबूझकर महाराष्ट्र में कानून व्यवस्था खराब हो और महाराष्ट्र का नाम खराब हो, ये करने की कोशिश कर रहा है, ये भी हम ढूंढ के निकालेंगे.
The opposition NCP has accused the Eknath Shinde government of failing to ensure law and order in the state.
होम मिनिस्ट्री के पास एक इंटेलिजेंस का रिपोर्ट आता है, तो इनका इंटेलिजेंस रिपोर्ट इनको नहीं बताता क्या होने वाला है. इतने दंगे जब से इनकी सरकार आई है, दंगे ही हुए. इसके पहले इतने दंगे कभी नहीं हुए इस राज्य में. तो ऑब्वियसली ये फेलियर ऑफ होम मिनिस्ट्री है ना.
Aurangzeb, who expanded the Mughal territory nearly to the entirety of the Indian subcontinent, has become the latest political flashpoint in Maharashtra politics. The Mughal emperor, seen as a divisive figure, is accused of targeting Hindus during his rule. Bureau Report, India Today.
India Today's Pankaj Khelkar joins us live en route to Kolhapur in Maharashtra. Pankaj, what is the current situation right now? The images we saw through the day suggested there has been quite a bit of rioting. Lathi charge has also taken place. What is the current situation?
Shivrur, as of now, the situation is under control, but still there is tension all over because almost in the heart of Kolhapur city, this riot erupted from Shivaji Chowk, wherein few of the Hindu youth had gathered. Police tried to pacify them, but while they were returning, stone pelting started, and almost in 4 to 5 areas of Kolhapur, all of the rioting thing happened, and then police had to use lathi charge as well as tear gas to control the mob. As of now, the situation is under control. 20 to 25 youth have been rounded off. The police as well as collector over here in Kolhapur have appealed to the public that not to venture in such activity. While we spoke to few of the locals in Kolhapur, they said that such a thing hadn't happened in this city for many years. Such incident wherein all of the youth have gone berserk, they started pelting stone and they started attacking a particular community is all because a post that has gone viral on social media, a status that was kept by a minor boy in Kolhapur who was detained. He is under detention by the Kolhapur police,
Yes.
who are trying to investigate who exactly is behind all such things.
Okay, Pankaj, stay safe when you head into Kolhapur because things are said to be still tense, but we'll keep coming back to you for an update. Now, I want to ask a bigger question because this is by far not the first time that Aurangzeb has become the reason for violent politics in Maharashtra. Why does Aurangzeb trigger Maharashtra perhaps more than any other state? Why is the very mention of Aurangzeb so fraught with law and order risk in this one state of the country? Obviously, there's a great deal of politics with groups fanning sentimental fires for their own ends. But that doesn't mean there wasn't a tumultuous relationship between Aurangzeb's Mughal empire and the Maratha kingdom of what is now Maharashtra. The resistance and conflicts that took place have had a lasting impact on the history and cultural identity of what is now Maharashtra. Let me get a little deeper into it so you understand why people are so angry. For starters, the demolition of Maratha temples. Aurangzeb's policies of temple destruction extended to the Maratha Empire as well. Many historical accounts mention the destruction of Hindu temples in Maharashtra at Aurangzeb's orders, including the famous Kashi Vishveshwar temple in Pune, the Trayambakeshwar temple in Nashik, and the Vitoba temple in Pandharpur. Then there's the persecution of Marathas. Aurangzeb's oppressive taxation policies, religious intolerance towards the Marathas sparked significant resistance and some of the most violent episodes. The Marathas, led by their leader, Chhatrapati Shivaji, and later by his son Sambhaji Maharaj, fiercely opposed Aurangzeb's rule and fought for the independence of their kingdom. Third and probably the most emotively, the execution of Shivaji's son Sambhaji by Aurangzeb's troops. They captured Sambhaji, the son of Shivaji, and the second Maratha ruler in 1689. According to historical accounts, Sambhaji was brutally tortured and executed with his body dismembered and thrown into a river. Now, the fourth point of why the relationship between the Mughal Empire and especially Aurangzeb and Maharashtra is so fraught with politics and hatred, the siege of the Raigad fort. Aurangzeb laid a prolonged siege to the capital of the Maratha Empire after capturing Sambhaji. The siege lasted for over 1 year, leading to significant hardships for the Marathas defending the fort. Eventually, the fort was captured by Aurangzeb's forces, and finally, the Battle of Pratapgarh in 1659 was a significant clash between the forces of Shivaji and Aurangzeb's army. The Marathas emerged victorious in this battle, which marked a turning point in the Maratha resistance against Mughal rule and further intensified the conflict between the two powers. Now, over 3.5 centuries later, the fact that Aurangzeb, or a picture of Aurangzeb, can still spark a riot and mobilize communities against one another is a tragic commentary on the potency of his legacy and the will of certain groups, sections of Maharashtra, to keep Emperor Aurangzeb's ghost completely alive. Now let's tell you a little bit more by zooming out a little, because Aurangzeb is a topic that most people are familiar with. We study it in school, many people study it in college as well, and it's the ripest fodder for politics in the country. Aurangzeb may be particularly radioactive in Maharashtra, and it's become an emotive issue now because of what's happening in Kolhapur. But if you zoom out, it isn't difficult to see how Aurangzeb's legacy has made him a controversial hot potato across many parts of India. While some view Aurangzeb as a pious and strict ruler, others criticize his policies and actions, pointing to instances of cruelty. I'll name just a few of them. Aurangzeb's most prominent act of cruelty was the execution of his own brother, Dara Shikoh, who was a patron of the arts and said to be a proponent of religious harmony. Aurangzeb didn't like that. He defeated Dara Shikoh in a power struggle and then had him mercilessly executed. Second, Aurangzeb ordered the destruction of several prominent Hindu temples that are the subject of politics even today. For instance, the Kashi Vishwanath temple in Varanasi and the Keshava Deo temple in Mathura. These acts were seen as attempts to impose Islamic supremacy, but they also carried with them the special Aurangzeb brand of cruelty. Third, the aggressively enforced imposition of jizya, a tax targeting non-Muslims, particularly Hindus, and was considered a discriminatory taxation policy. The fourth in Aurangzeb's legacy of cruelty was the persecution of Sikhs and a policy of suppressing the Sikh community. He ordered the execution famously of Guru Tegh Bahadur, the 9th Sikh Guru, and persecuted Sikh followers, leading to a prolonged period of conflict between the Mughal Empire and the Sikh community. Fifth, and something that's brought up very often during discussions about Aurangzeb even now, is forced conversions. Now, historical accounts suggest Aurangzeb implemented policies aimed at converting non-Muslims to Islam forcefully. He is said to have imposed strict Islamic laws and targeted individuals who resisted conversion. These are according to historical accounts. Now, Aurangzeb was also famous for the demolition of several Sufi shrines and tombs, including the shrine of Chishti saint Moinuddin Chishti in Ajmer. These actions were seen as an affront to Sufi traditions and practices. Aurangzeb also implemented heavy taxation policies that burdened the common population, leading to economic hardships and discontent among his subjects. Now, his prolonged military campaign against the Maratha Empire, including the brutal treatment of prisoners of war and heavy taxation, led to widespread resentment and resistance from the Marathas, which takes you back to what I began this entire discussion with. The execution of Sikh Banda Singh Bahadur, a Sikh military commander who had led a successful rebellion against the Mughals. This act was considered particularly cruel and aimed at suppressing the Sikh resistance. And finally, unlike some of his Mughal predecessors, Aurangzeb's famous cruelty extended into the suppression of cultural activities. He is renowned and commonly said to have discouraged cultural activities including music, dance and art, as he believed them to be un-Islamic. He imposed strict restrictions on artistic expression, leading to a decline in cultural vibrancy during his reign, a vibrancy that had been brought in by some of his predecessors, notably Akbar and Shah Jahan. Viewer, as you well know, historical interpretations of Aurangzeb's reign vary, and there are differing perspectives on his actions. Some argue that his policies were motivated by religious zeal and a desire for strict Islamic governance, while others view them as acts of tyranny and cruelty. Whatever the view, the vibrancy of his legacy means that modern India is still renaming roads and cities to erase Aurangzeb from our visible existence. And that is something, in my opinion, we need to really think about and grapple with. Are we really a country that needs to continue to wrestle with the ghost of Aurangzeb? Does our politics still need to contain a dash of this Mughal emperor? Should pictures of Aurangzeb continue to trigger sections? Should riots be the end result of someone posting a WhatsApp status? Does our law and order machinery not have enough sections in our penal code to deal with those who try and fan passions in communities? Why does everything have to lead to street violence, lathi charge, etc.? It's something we nearly need to think about. But remember that Aurangzeb is only one part of it. He was only one Mughal emperor. Because truth to tell, no old empire of India triggers political upheaval, government action, mob violence or community flare-ups in today's India like the Mughals do. We can all agree on that. While we think about why the memory of the Mughals continues to instill such strong emotions in an India that has long moved on from that age, here's a reminder, viewer, of just how alive the Mughals actually are in our everyday existence even now. Whether you like it or not, these are real issues and they all have direct links to the Mughals. Take, for instance, the recent Taj Mahal controversy. Some politicians and groups have questioned the historical significance and attempted to downplay the Taj Mahal's Mughal heritage, often suggesting alternative theories about the Taj Mahal's origins, if you can believe it. There have been debates and controversies surrounding the renaming of places in India that have Mughal names. Certain political factions have called for changing the names of cities, streets, landmarks associated with the Mughals, citing a desire to remove perceived symbols of Mughal rule and assert a different cultural and historical identity. I'm not making it up. You know there are real examples. Recent ones include Aurangabad being renamed Sambhaji Nagar, Aurangzeb Road in Delhi being renamed APJ Abdul Kalam Marg, and Akbar Ka Kila in Rajasthan being renamed Ajmer Ka Kila. The most famous and sustained impact of Mughal rule on modern India is, you guessed it, the Babri Masjid Ram Janmabhoomi dispute, a long-standing, highly contentious issue involving a mosque built during the Mughal era that was demolished by Hindu Karsevaks in 1992. The dispute revolved around the claim that the mosque was built by Babur on the birthplace of Lord Ram. The political and legal battles surrounding this issue have been highly divisive and have shaped India's political landscape. A new Ram temple is nearly complete at that very same site and will be inaugurated early next year. The inclusion and portrayal of Mughal history in school textbooks has been a subject of political controversy repeatedly, with the NCERT recently removing Mughal chapters for school textbooks. Various groups and political parties have debated the content and interpretation of Mughal history, often seeking to highlight or downplay certain aspects to align with their respective ideological perspectives. To those with a willful hatred for all things Mughal, these actions are corrective measures of a history of cruelty and a retrieval of identity from perceived outsiders. To others, the vibrancy of Mughal politics in a brave new India only underscores the dependence of modern politicians on ghosts of long-gone rulers for today's political mileage. Wherever you stand on the Mughals, one thing appears beyond debate, viewer, and you'll agree with me. Cities, forts and roads may be renamed, but the empire won't be evaporating from our politics, sadly, anytime soon.
Two Indian leaders, one from the ruling party and the other from the opposition, are abroad interacting with the diaspora and holding meetings. Their approach totally different. If Congress leader Rahul Gandhi is using much of his time to target Prime Minister Narendra Modi, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is refusing to delve on Indian domestic politics.
I try when I go abroad not to do politics abroad. even a democratic culture has a certain collective responsibility. There is a national interest, there is a collective image. There are sometimes things bigger than politics. And when you step outside the country, I think that's important to remember. So I may differ strongly with someone. I could say to you I differ with them, but how I counter it, I would like to go back at home and do it, and watch me when I get back.
While responding to a question at a diaspora meet in Cape Town, South Africa after the BRICS meet, Jaishankar did not name any leader, but his reference to Rahul Gandhi was obvious. In contrast, Rahul Gandhi has been attacking Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his speeches in the United States.
All of you came here by car, using your cars. Imagine if the only thing you did was look in the rear-view mirror. And it's the same idea with the BJP, with the RSS, all of them. You listen to them. You listen to their ministers. You listen to the Prime Minister. You will never find them talking about the future. They will only talk about the past.
Rahul had earlier accused Prime Minister Narendra Modi of playing God.
We have a group of people in India who are absolutely convinced that they know everything. In fact, I think they think maybe they know even more than God. They could sit down with God and have a conversation and explain to him, about what is going on. And of course, our Prime Minister is one such specimen. I think if you sat Modi ji down next to God, Modi ji would start explaining to God how the universe works.
While Rahul Gandhi is often criticized for attacking the Modi government on foreign soil, the Congress points to the Prime Minister's speeches abroad that have targeted earlier governments. But should Indian leaders be taking domestic political feuds abroad at all? It's a debate that is raging but not settled yet. Bureau Report, India Today.
Pranav Salkar saw his mother struggle to get water after coming back from work every day. The nearest source of water was half a kilometer away. Pained by this sight, the 14-year-old took matters into his own hands. He started digging a well, and in 4 days, he struck gold.
त्याला मी एक सूचना दिली होती काही ते खून कण थोडंसं पाणी लागतो का आपण बघूया. नंतर आम्ही मग कामावर जायची सुरुवात केली. मग त्यांनी मनापासून सुरुवात केली खोदायला. त्याच्याकरता त्यांनी खोदता 3-4 दिवस त्यांनी लावले आणि पाणी लागलं.
Pranav's parents speak fondly of their son's efforts. They recount how he had made a ladder to dig out soil from the pit.
आम्ही मजुरी करतो आणि संध्याकाळी येतो काम करून. मग मला त्रास होतो म्हणून माझ्या मुलाने विहीर खोदली 4 दिवसात. मला आनंद वाटतो.
ते पाणी तुम्ही वापरता का?
त्या पाणी आम्ही वापरतो.
Kelve village in Palghar gets piped water thrice a week. To Pranav's parents, who work as labourers, the well is a relief. And it goes without saying, Pranav is now a hero in his village. Bureau Report, India Today.
So sorry.
welcome you with us here on Business Today. I'm Abha Bakaya. Here are the day's top stories. Sensex and Nifty close at 6-month highs, a day ahead of the RBI's interest rate review meeting tomorrow. Investors richer by 2 lakh crore rupees today. RBI may continue to stand still on interest rates. Repo rate may remain unchanged at 6.5%. All eyes on whether the RBI could further revise GDP